Hello, CQ calling CQ, the old friends net. This is N4LQ, November 4, Lima, Quebec. Steve in Shelby, North Carolina. The old friends net is an amplitude modulation only net. We meet here on 3715 kilocycles every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 a.m. and on Sundays at 5 p.m. on this same frequency. So those wishing to check in, please call now.
Good morning, Steve, WA4LLR.
WB4ARK. WB4NKL.
W4KR.
W4MEC.
Okay, I've got the following check-ins, and that is WA4LLR and WB4ARK, WB4NKL, and W4KR, and W4MEC. Do we have any more check-ins? Well, kind of a small list this morning. Well, good morning. Glad you all could make it in this morning. And it's kind of overcast and muggy here this morning. Looks like we got about a quarter inch of rain at some point last night. I do not know when it happened. I was asleep. I'm running a brand new transmitter today, and I hope it sounds halfway decent. It's a Johnson Challenger, and I finally got it wired up for push to talk. Got me a AF gain modulation pot put on the back so I can adjust the modulation level, which seems to be sort of an oversight of Johnson there. They just didn't have one. And a few other changes, and I hope it's doing okay. Driving the amplifier to about 200 watts P, or 200 watts carrier. So let's go ahead and go around, and maybe we can pick up some more later on. WA4LLR, N4LQ.
All right, Steve. N4LQ. And the old friends, WA4LLR. Well, the Challenger sounds great. And you got the estimator over awfully close to the peg. I had to back the RF gain down a little bit to keep you from pegging it. And audio sounds good to me, so I think you got a winner. Running the Viking 500 this morning, the 183D. We've got about 68 degrees, clouds and fog. No rain in the rain gauge last night, but they're saying a possibility today, which is typical. But looks like we got a cooling trend coming up starting this weekend. I think the high Saturday is supposed to be like 68, and almost all the week is in the 70s. First part low 70s, and then it gets up to mid, and then higher 70s towards the end of the week. So cool spell coming. I got to be one and done this morning. Coming back home to church last night, the check engine light came on my Nissan Rogue, and I've got to run and have my mechanic put the computer on it and tell me what wonderful things going on. So I'm going to say 7-3 on this one. Thanks for calling it, Steve. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Lord willing, we'll catch up with you on Sunday. So 7-3, God bless. Down to you, buddy. WB4ARK, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR. WB4ARK.
Okay, Dave. I hope it's not too serious a problem. Maybe it'll be something simple. I never have anything simple on my car. When the check engine light comes on, it's usually pretty drastic. Anyhow, lots of atmospherics this morning. Seems like it was a little worse earlier. When I first turned the radio on about 7 o'clock, it was really crackling. But we had 0.16 inches of rain. Probably early this morning. Driveway was still a little damp. And so that's the extent of any precipitation we've had here in the last 24 hours. So any little bit, of course, helps. And let's see, we got most of our problems taken care of. And my wife had another injection in her upper back to take care of some pain she's been having. So she's doing a lot better this morning. And so that's about it for right now, I guess. Oh, the Challenger sounds good, Steve. Very good audio. I guess I don't think I've ever heard a bad Johnson audio report. They seem to be pretty good transmitters right out of the box. And so your unit sounds good, Dave. The Viking 500. I wonder if that means it has 500 watts input capabilities. Well, let's see, over to Cliff. WB4NKL, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy, WB4ARK, it's WB4NKL. Yeah, that's the Johnson 500, it's a 500 watt input rig. Got 71 degrees here, and we got 1.25 inches of rain there. Started in about 6 there yesterday, and I lasted about 9. They were calling for some local flooding. I don't flood up here on top of the hill, but I guess the creeks got up. Well, Steve, the Challenger sounds good. Sounds like you did a good job on it. Glad you got the push to talk worked out. I've got one over here I need to get into one of these days, and I think it definitely needs a mic gain control. Why they didn't do that. See, the Avenger has sold one that's on its way to Shelby. Be interesting to see who bought it. Let's see, not much else going on. Getting ready for Berryville and heading out tomorrow evening, spend the night up at Roanoke and take in the Roanoke Hamfest, and then drive on up to Berryville and spend Saturday night at in Winchester, about 7 miles from the Hamfest. Be there for it Sunday morning. So looking forward to that. Looks like, according to the Weather Underground, we're going to have pretty good weather for that trip. So on to Stan. Good morning, Stan. W4KR, WB4NKL.
Yeah, howdy, Cliff. WA4LL. No. WB4NKL. You were going to be Dave for a minute there. WB4NKL, W4KR. Well, good morning. Morning, everybody. I'm running the Ranger 2 this morning and the 75A2. I was up the band earlier, and I had the 500 on up there, but this one was tuned up down here, so I just left it here. Just fired it up. I wonder where you're staying in Winchester, Cliff. Like I said before, we Used to stay at the Holiday Inn there down the north part of town, northeast part of Winchester. And it was just a hop, skip, and a jump, just the 7 miles over to Berryville. Let's see. I'd love to go up there. I just can't do it right now. I got stuff that's keeping me here right now. A lot of legal stuff I'm still working through, getting squared away, banks and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's see here. What else do I know? It's 73 this morning. 73. Humidity is about 90%. It is high. Steve, I noticed just a little bit of popping on the mic. Just a little bit of popping. You're a little close to it, maybe. And while the audio, the quality of the audio is good, it's just a touch on the narrow side, which may be normal for what that gadget was supposed to do. With that, Charlie, here we go. W4MEC, W4KR.
Okay, Stan, W4KR. And the group, W4MEC. Just looking at the frequency there. A little 300 KC, 300 cycles low or something. Yeah. Anyway, good morning. 70 degrees here, overcast, muggy. I got the grass cut yesterday. Amazingly, took a little longer than 3 hours because I had to refill almost twice. I ran out and then made it to the finishing up the top end of the backyard. I didn't get the bottom end done, but about ran out of gas again, so that's unusual. Normally I've cut the whole yard on one tank of gas if it's low, but it was tall. Oh yeah, service engine light on my old Chevy. Usually service engine has got to do with anything related to the emission control, and it does give a couple codes for other things, and I found out my problem with my Chevy, I'll know for sure in 11 days. I found my normal mechanic said, you need to try this fellow, and turns out both this fellow, Stacy and Dale, run hot rods together, so they're in like Clinton, and I called the fellow up there and asked him if he could work me in at his shop, because and I said what I suspected it was, and I learned everything about the Chevy LS motor, because he said, nope, that isn't the problem. I'll tell you exactly what it is, because he'd met it before. So he explained it all to me, and sounds like it might be fixable without too much of expense, you know, burning the oil. So it's got an unusual, LS motor's got an unusual issue. So looking forward to that answer. And I guess you can hear I'm running the ART-13 and receiving on an R390A to the end-fed half wave today. Let's see, what else? It actually spit rain on me a little bit when I was cutting yesterday. When I first started, then it went away. Down the road about a mile, it poured rain because we went out a little later, and man, everything was covered. But we only got a little spit. But the day before now, I was supposed to meet Boone on 6 meters, and he didn't show up, and I gave him a try because the storms were near, but they didn't seem that bad. And the Lafayette HA460's got a very good ANL on it, and it's not just a diode, and you can't turn it off. And I was getting static crashes on the 460, and I said, So after a couple of tries, I said, well, maybe he's getting more of a storm than I did. I don't know if he mentioned on maybe the 160 net, but he said the lightning was popping on him so close it scared him to death. It was like hitting in his backyard, it seemed. So that gave him a reason for not being on 6. And when that storm came through from around 5:30, we got 3.5 inches of rain. But nothing since. All right, back to, my comment on the audio. It sounds a little nasal to me. Audio sounds good, a little bit on the nasal side for Steve, though. N4LQ, W4MEC.
Nasal. W4MEC N4LQ. I wonder how audio can come out nasal sounding unless, let me see, if I pinch this.
Now, this is probably nasal sounding right here when I squeeze my nose.
Boy, I appreciate the reports on this thing. Do we have any more check-ins?
K4JAL.
Now, there's a nasal... K4JAL. Good morning. You sound loud and clear. Go ahead and make it and come back to me.
Roger, Stephen. I hope I'm not sounding nasal, but I do have one. I'm in here a little bit late. I'm running around trying to get the garbage collected up, this, that, and the other. And the main thing I've got to remember to do is to order me a golf cart for Shelby, because I get wobble kneed. Last year down there I got wobble kneed. I can't have that. Back to you, Steve. N4LQ, K4JAL.
Steve, you got 6 guys in here, and you got 6 different responses to audio.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy. K4JAL, N4LQ. Yeah, that's good. Well, I guess, nasal, narrow, and popping. Let's see, what else can we do with this thing? Let me turn down the modulation just a little bit, because it is a little hot, and I notice it's, hello. It tends to have a little bit too much negative modulation, and matter of fact, when I first loaded it up as per the instruction manual, the modulation was totally negative and no positive modulation at all. So I cranked up the loading and cranked it up till it was at maximum. And of course that reduces your carrier power, but I got 100% out of it this way, and it's not perfect, I have to admit. I'm turning this. No, I'm trying to do this without getting shocked. But yeah, it's out of the chassis. It's out of the cabinet sitting up here, and I'm reaching around behind it, so I gotta be a little careful. The Challenger has a pair of 6 DQ6s in the final. So like the NightKit T150, it's got 2 output tubes. So it puts out too much power to drive an amplifier, and I had to use a 3 dB attenuator on the output. And it uses another 6 DQ5 sweep tube to modulate the screens of the 6 DQ6 finals. And it has a 12AX7 mic amp, and then a 6AQ5, which is your audio driver tube, and it's also the clamp tube in CW mode. So when you change modes, there's a lot going on with that function switch. And to get push to talk, I simply disconnected the cathodes of the final tubes from ground, and now they're being keyed with the other 2 tubes. And I finally got it figured out how to do that right, because they've got the screen grid of both final tubes and the filaments. They got a capacitor going to the cathode of the final tubes, and then it goes to ground. And so I had to reroute 4 capacitors to make it work right. Kind of complicated, but anyway, let's see here. Do we have any more check-ins? I'll listen for a second here. All right. Well, I got to call the air conditioner people as soon as I get off the net today. I've got one of my units has decided to be low on Freon, and it's interesting. Apparently, when that happens, the outdoor unit sweats profusely, and I get water all over the pad underneath I don't know exactly how that works, but I also got a lot of sweating in the bottom of the indoor unit, and it didn't go down the pipe like it's supposed to. It just built up in the blower box down at the bottom, and I had a lot of water down there, so I had to clean all that up last night and dry it out with a fan. And I'll call the air conditioning guys to come out and look at it. Fortunately, our upstairs unit is still working okay, but I think the one down here has bit the dust. Well, buddy, hope your wife continues to improve with that back pain and the injections help. And Cliff, okay on your trip to Berryville. Hope you find some goodies there. You might see an Avenger. Yeah, the Avenger, Johnson Avenger, sold on eBay for apparently $800. There was no invitation to bid or make an offer. It was strictly flat $800. And Stan, your Ranger sounds pretty good there. So let's turn it back around for one more time. Dave has checked out, and we'll go to Buddy. WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Well, Steve, I've read that your audio sounds extremely good. I'm using headphones, and it just is very clear, and it's just excellent, I think. And so that's my take on it. So anyhow, fine business on everybody's equipment. You did a good bit of work on that unit, Steve, to get it to jump through all the hoops that you wanted it to jump through, press to talk and so forth, and so I think you've got it working quite well. And so anyhow, I don't think we're going to have to cut the grass probably today or maybe tomorrow, depending on the heat issues. But we will see about that. And so I guess that's about it for right now. So we'll send it on to WB4NKL, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, it's WB4NKL, and I'm running the 610E here again this morning. Seems like that's what I've had on for a long time. I need to get something else in line here, I guess. Exercise something else. Good deal on the fix on the Challenger, Steve. Glad it worked out there. Like I say, I need to get into mine sometime. Mine was kind of rough. Cabinets need painted, and needs a lot of cleaning before I even start to try it out. Stan, staying at the Hampton Inn up there at Winchester. That's the one, the club up there. They make an arrangement, get you a little bit better deal, but you got to get early. They just get so many rooms. But that's where I'm at. It's a Hampton Inn, and I've stayed there for the last few years. I've been going to that one a pretty good while. I guess probably 10 years or longer, and I've been staying there. The grass, I haven't been able to miss a week cutting grass. It's been a wet July here, and usually this time of year it's slacks off, and maybe every 2 weeks, but not this year. It could have used it more often than once a week, but I don't want to get into that. I mowed it Tuesday. I ended up having to go over most of it twice, so I used quite a bit of gas too, Charlie. I guess I'll make this the last one and get out here and walk a little bit. My normal trail is probably wet, so I'll probably walk on the highway down here to Davy Crockett Park and around. 73s and enjoyed it. Thanks for calling it, Steve. Go ahead, Stan, W4KR, WB4NKL.
WB4NKL, W4KR. Okay, Cliff. Okay, on the Hampton Inn. Yeah. We picked the Holiday Inn only because it was a little bit closer. I think we did the first year we stayed at the Hampton because we couldn't get into the Holiday Inn; they were full. Anyway, that's have a safe trip up there. Let's see, we'll probably catch you tomorrow morning. Have a safe trip. Yeah, Steve, keep plugging away with that thing. You'll figure out where the audio setting should be. You'll get there, I'm sure. As far as the Avenger, I looked at it after I heard about it. I looked at it. No. Not 800. You could buy. Let's see. You could buy 2.5 Ranger 2s for that price. But who knows? Anyway, and you could buy a couple of S-line transmitters for that price too. Come think of it. I think that's going to be about it for me this morning. I'll say 7.3. Jimmy, good signal up here. Down here, rather, I should say. Good signal, sounding good this morning. And Charlie area sounds pretty good too. So with that, to you, Charlie, and I'll say 7.3. Say everybody Sunday. W4MEC, W4KR.
Okay, Stan, W4KR, and the group W4MEC. Real good. Well, usually a sign of a low charge, Steve, is it freezes up. The outside unit, or rather the inside unit, the evaporator will freeze up on you. And water standing in it sounds to me like your drain's plugged up. Mine's done that. I've got a pump, of course, and two alarms, one for the inside of the pump tank, and one for the overflow pan that the pump sits in. And mine actually tripped off one time, and it trips off by cutting the 24 volts off, so your thermostat indicator goes dark. So I didn't know what was going on until I went down there and saw a flood, and I had a plugged up a gunky condensate drain line. But and mine has been with the humidity, it has been running, pumping that water out. So I would, if it's getting cold, I would probably say it's probably just dealing with the plug drain line and a lot of humidity. So anyway, let's see. Well, you know, I listen to everybody's audio, and everybody sounded like they normally sound on the 390 here in the shack. But and the funny thing is, when you pinched your nose to simulate nasal, that's exactly what it wasn't that bad, but that's exactly what it sounded like to me. So you know, it's only slight, but your other rigs give you a lot broader audio spectrum there. So anyway, it almost sounds like it's a carbon mic, but not quite as bad. Let's see, do I got anything other notes? Everybody seems to be bailing out early, so I'll hang around here. Can't read that note, so anyway. Let's see, any other comments to add here? I'm thinking of swapping this 390 out and putting the what is it, 129X here instead. Put this back in the rack. I could use, I've got a 28 volt DC BC348 that I have not gone through yet. I thought about running that one too here, but I got a BC348 right next to it, hooked to the BC375, so that'd be a little redundant. So And I haven't found the smoke release inside of my SX100 yet. I haven't had time to open it up, so to run the Heathkit DX100B. So everything's kind of in a mishmash of a hold, I guess. So back to you, Jimmy, K4JAL in the group, W4MEC.
W4MEC, K4JAL, thanks for the signal report, Stan. Steve, I don't hear anything wrong with your signal, but what do I know? Sounds like Steve to me. Anyhow, Charlie, you were commenting, I think, on Sunday about how much oil accumulates under the valve cover on an overhead valve engine. I can tell you this, if you leave the valve cap off, which I did probably back in the 70s one time, and fire it up, you'll have oil all over the hood. I remember it well. You know, the stuff, there has to be a lot of oil up there to keep the valve train going, but it drains back to the sump quite quickly unless it's plugged up. So I don't know. Anyhow, I'm going to say 7.3 and cool it out of here myself. So back to you, Steve. N4LQ, K4JAL.
Okay, K4JAL, the group, this is N4LQ, changed over to a different mic. Still getting more negative than I am positive modulation, which I guess as long as it's 100% it'll do. Anyway, we'll see if that makes any difference. I'm live streaming this on YouTube, and I'll go back and listen to myself and see what it sounds like, because it actually is recording on an SDR. It's kind of interesting. When I tested everything for the first time last night, I was getting all kinds of spurs or parasitics or whatever all the way across the spectrum, and I could see it on the SDR. It was a horrible mess of little spikes everywhere. And I thought, oh no, this transmitter's messed up, and I listened on the 75A4, and they were there too. I could tune across the band and hear all this garbage when I transmitted. And so I happened to remember that sometimes the SDR acts up, so I unplugged the USB cable out of it and then plugged it back in and restarted it, and that cleared it up. No more spikes and no more noise in the 75A4. So apparently the SDR was generating its own parasitics and retransmitting them. Man, figure that one out. That's really strange. Anyway, we'll see what this does. Let's see here. I think the only person left standing is Buddy and Charlie, and I think Buddy's still here. Everybody else has left the building. So one of the things I want to do is look up that HA460 Lafayette and see what the noise limiter looks like. And it seems strange that it would be something you couldn't turn off. That's usually noise limiters tend to distort or clip the audio, and don't usually run them unless it's really needed. So I want to see what makes that thing tick. I had one of those things back in the 60s for a short period of time. I never could make any contacts on it because there wasn't anybody to talk to. But I actually installed it in my Mustang, and I had a little 6-meter whip on there, and I couldn't work anybody, so I just gave up on it. But it's one of the coolest looking little transceivers ever was. They were really nice looking. Anyway, as soon as I get off of here, I'll call the air conditioner guy and see if we can get him over here before too long. Our daughter is coming in for the weekend, spend the weekend with us, so that'll give us some entertainment. Well, 73s to everybody, and I'll pass it around to Buddy, and then Buddy to Charlie, and then that'll be it. WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Well, didn't anybody say anything about my audio, but it looks like my voltage is dropping or something. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm getting modulation and I'm getting output. Maybe I've got a bad connection on my ups. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, my output is dropping. So I'm going to say 73, turn it over to Charlie. W4MEC, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy. WB4ARK, Group W4MEC. All right, Steve. Well, that noise limiter circuit's in the top right of this schematic there. It does have a diode, I'm sorry, but it's interesting how it is all wired in with the circuit there. And, well, it's hard. That receiver is very broad, and being that it's an AM rig, I'm not sure of the spec, but sometimes when we're on 50.4, I can actually hear 50.313 where all the FT8 is, and I can hear a little bit of it, and it tunes very fast. I think the dial is let me think about it. Well, I didn't turn around and look, but it's like 50K 50K marks on it, you know. 50.4, 50.45, 50.5 is how it's marked. And it does not do any CW, there's no BFO in it. So, anyway, and it works amazingly well. So it puts out 10 watts. I run it through an amplifier, homebrew 6-meter amp that puts out, well, 38 watts, which works out to 160 watts out, which is all that amplifier will do. And it's plate modulated, and sounds pretty good. And no way to set the modulation either, and boy does it over-modulate. I'm glad no one's around here to listen to it. It seems to work at a distance really well. But you look at a scope, man, and it's seriously over-modulated. But, you know, Jim and Lee and several other guys that were on 6 and Boone, they say, some audio sounds great. So, but the only caveat is about running it is you don't want to take your time push to talk, because the microphone amplifier is the same as the receiver audio amplifier, and if you get in between the two, you basically hook them together back to front, and it squeals like at full audio output power. It squeals, so it'll ring your bell there. Anyway, shoot, I can't remember if Jimmy left or not. I'll say 732. I think I'm all that's left, but I'll turn it over to Jimmy one more time. And thanks for running the short net with the 7 of us that showed up. Steve, K4JAL and a group, W4 Music.
Yeah, he's left. Just us standing. Well, that's interesting about the Lafayette, and Lafayette made pretty good stuff, man. I really do miss that company. And it's an old company. That thing goes way back. Man, I forgot how old that company is. It goes back to like 1917 or something like that. Anyway, all right. Well, I guess we'll shut it down here for the time being, and appreciate everybody checking in. I was looking here on, I'm monitoring the YouTube channel, and I see that we had a guy from California. This was about, you know, we first started up. He said, "I finally heard you, but the local noise is really bad." So apparently, he was actually picking us up on AM on 75 meters. AA6LJ. I can't believe he's in California. And then another guy from Italy. Of course, he wasn't listening. He was just listening to the internet. And he's an Italian fellow that he said he is nostalgic. He's 72 years old and is nostalgic about AM gear, and he really is enjoying the activity here. So anyway, get all kinds of interesting folks that listen to us. All right, well, we'll shut the net down. Thanks, everybody, for checking in. Have a great day, and we'll see you all on Sunday. And hopefully we can get some folks in tonight on 160. It was rough last night, and only Bob N4QR, and I couldn't hear him. He was just way too weak with his barefooted Jupiter. So we need to get some more activity on 1864. 73s, and take care. This is N4LQ closing the Old Friends Net.